Whoa!
Welcome back, everyone. It is MaltyMaldy and Jessica Lindstrom with the GCA, and we are in another episode of our Disney Renaissance series. This time, we are talking Mulan with none other than Sophie.
Hi everyone! How are you everyone?
We're doing
Finally
good
out
today.
here.
So,
Yay!
basic rules, as if there are rules here. The way that it's going to go is that Jess is going to lead off the topics, and then we just all kind of fill in, give our sides, our takes, and then we will also go back into some other backstories to where Mulan originated. So, Jess, take it away.
Okay, so I mean Mulan. I've always liked Mulan, and so I want to ask you guys what aspect of the film like made you relate to it in any way, or like what just made you really like it in the first place, like when you first saw it.
Alright. Well, in my case, this came out in 1998, right? Around that time, I was living in Singapore, right? Which is in Asia. I was really like immersed a bit in Asian culture. So it was, I kind of saw those aspects of the film around me, like maybe the clothes or just the decorations, very very nice. But what I really related to the most was I was always a bit of a tomboy as a girl, as a child. Sorry, uh,
As a girl
Oh, you
child.
could
as a
still
girl
say that.
child, as a girl child. No, I am and have always been a girl. But I was a bit of a tomboy, but I really liked Mulan. She was very feminine, but also just kind of like messy, free spirit, and I loved seeing that kind of character. Also, she wasn't annoying or arrogant like most girl bosses today. So I really liked it. And I like the horse. I love the horse.
Oh yeah.
One of the few times they don't animate a horse to act like a dog in a Disney movie. So I think
One
that's
of the
pretty cool.
few times, yes. Yep.
Con, the best.
Well, one of the
Yeah.
things that really drew me to Mulan was not only the humor and the comedy, but the camaraderie whenever they actually go to training camp, and they're all just a bunch of dudes roughhousing around, and that reminded me of what we did with my little brothers as a kid. We'd always be goofing off.
Punching each other,
Hmm.
throwing each other off the rock.
No skinny dipping, but
Ah. I was gonna say that. Yeah, it was. It's a lot of fun. Also, things that I didn't notice as a kid were, those kind of things. Just like the guys having fun, just messing around. All the jokes also that you appreciate as an adult a bit more, and especially what surprised me the most now rewatching it, just because now we don't see it so much in Disney films, is how tight the family aspect is. Like Mulan loves her father, and her father loves her, and they're all supporting each other, and that's like the main. That's the biggest reason for the story of Mulan happening, right? It's her love for her father. You don't see that in today's Disney films, or you see them, but not that. I don't know how to say it. Like that, not that family oriented. More like, oh, this also happened, but the real reason was something else.
Yeah, and like you were saying even before, like her being, more of the tomboy, I was kind of that way too because I grew up with my twin brother and his friends, so I was like, one of those. But also what made me love it too was because of her and her father's relationship, and it just made me think of me and my dad because me and my dad are really close. And so I understood that whole her wanting to please him, and then I also rewatching it, I was getting kind of like teary because I was like, I would do the same thing as her if my dad was injured and like he was forced to go into fight in a battle, and if I didn't have any of my brothers, I would have done the same thing. I would have like cut my hair and ran away and gone and fought for him in his place. Like, oh my god! So I was going like, oh. So this like watch through that I did however many years later, it just like kind of hit me more in the
Yeah.
feels.
Yeah, and it's not something that just happens. It's like they give you a time to process it and like
Yeah.
everyone's emotions.
Mhm.
Because you can see when she's in the statue and she's watching the shadows of her dad and mom, and you can see just like the gesture her mom make, like she's crying, or maybe it's like this is the last time. And I like, you see her understand that, yeah, if he goes, it's not only going to kill him, it's going to destroy my mom, it's going to probably destroy me as well. So 100% with his injury, he's gonna die because he couldn't even perform like a routine. What he was doing, like practicing a routine,
The sword.
yeah, formations and
Whatnot,
things like
yeah.
that. But I could at the least maybe run away, right, in a fight. So she's like, I have at least 10% chances of survival. I know my dad has 0% chance of survival.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it's not an easy decision that she makes, and
No.
they show you that, like it's not like, okay, bye, I'm gonna go. You see her like thinking about it. You see like even her going through grief of, okay, my dad's going, he's gonna die, and then just like that decision. And
Mhm. Mhm.
I really like the scene where she leaves the hairpin, or the
Or
comb.
the comb. Mhm.
Yeah, and like looks at her parents like one last time, like makes a
Mhm.
pause and then runs away.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Like,
While
Well,
we're
now.
still on this, while we're still on this topic, I also want to say that like Mulan's little journey in the beginning is another thing that reached out to me because you could tell that she's smart and witty and she's capable at stuff. She just
Mhm.
happens to be a little clumsy, and everyone else treats her like she's a failure, and she feels like that. And it
Mhm.
goes into that song like reflection.
oh, that's what I wanted to say about that, because something I really liked about the film is that, as you mentioned at the start, there's nothing like today where they're like, oh, the patriarchy or whatever. No, they show us the culture that's that they the girls have to get like a good match to continue the line. The boys bearing arms, right? They're going to be war, so they have very defined roles, and she knows that, and she accepts that. There's no moment where she's like, no, I don't want to do this, I don't want to marry anyone. But she really wants, she's willing and wanting to make her family proud, and the fact that she doesn't manage to it gives her like this crisis, right? That she wants to respect like her culture. She does respect it, but at the same time, like she sees her differences as kind of a contrast to this, and
Yeah.
that's why like the reflection song is so powerful, because she
Mhm.
wants to meet their expectations, make her father proud, especially. But
Exactly.
these little like maybe we think of them as little differences, but they really kind of mess up the the matchmaking process.
Yeah.
So it's a very powerful song for me. I like it.
Yeah, it's a really good song. Well, now let's move on to how about favorite character or characters?
Difficult. Well, I think everybody loves Mushu because
Mm,
he's so funny. Like all the memes online are from him. I think I love using the GIF. I live in the
yeah,
morning,
yeah.
or dishonoring you, dishonoring your
Put on your
cows.
cow.
Right? Yeah. So Mushu, I think, is like definitely some. After Mushu, um, I think I would say like Mulan. Just
Yeah.
in general, and I don't really usually like female protagonists because maybe, I don't know, maybe sometimes there's a hint of too much arrogance, or maybe of a shallow personality, and like nah.
Mm.
But I really like Mulan because all her actions are um, she does mention at some time like, maybe I did it for me, but I don't think it's true. Maybe in that moment she felt like it, but I feel like all her actions were to try to do what's right. That's what she
Yeah,
mentions.
and that's kind of I think more what she meant when it's like she didn't really do it for herself in a selfish way. She
Mm.
more wanted to do it to like, kind of I guess, kind of prove that she could do. But yeah, she wasn't doing it selfishly at all. She
Yeah,
just wanted
that she
to,
could do the right thing.
yeah, do the right thing. Yeah.
Hmm. Um, yeah, because again, and even while she is at training, it's not like, okay, I want to be the best, I'm going to show these boys how it's done. No, she just wants to get through it. She tries to make
She had to
friends.
work through it, man. She had to
Yeah,
work
yeah.
through that.
And I like that they show you, right, like everybody suffered there, and in the
Yeah,
end it was her moment of
finally
okay,
getting that arrow.
yeah. And like I made a note here, it's like actions, breed respect.
Uh-huh,
So everybody who was always bullying her or whatever, okay, they went through this process of, okay, we all suck, we all had our asses kicked, but finally somebody did it, yes. And that like had that camaraderie, like
yeah,
Malty said.
camaraderie. Yeah,
And so and from there, um like just having one person accomplish something, and then it just hypes everybody up. So like that made everybody like, yeah, we can do this, okay, a
yeah,
last push, and then they all got infinitely better.
yeah. Like the one the "Make a Man Out of You" song, man. That's. I mean, we all love that song.
Yeah,
That's a banger right there. But yeah, I mean, during that whole thing, it just showed how everybody was just like, like you're saying, struggling through the training, and like even Mulan when she was carrying that, the weighted thing with it, and how she like fell over. And I was like, yeah, that would totally happen. Like, come on, it was being realistic. It wasn't saying like, oh yeah, she's so strong, she can carry this thing just like the guys.
yeah.
So it
Hmm.
was being far more realistic in that sense. But then she ended up, proving that she could catch up to them in her own pace. And then, yeah.
Yeah, and that they
You
could
can't
all
talk
do.
about that song without singing the first line. You know that, right?
Yay.
Let's get down
Let
Down
to
to
down
business
business
to
defeats.
the heart.
But I like the part where it says like your Shang sings to Ping that you're unsuited for the rage of war. Like pack up, go home, you're through. Like I love those lyrics, that they're deep lyrics. It's not like yeah, 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 let it go, let it go, let it go for 3 minutes. Like all the song is just a story, and little by little it also shows a Shang like exhaustion or maybe losing confidence that he can do it, because it starts very like, oh yeah, we're gonna do this, and then kind of like, well, going a bit maybe less confident that they can.
Here's a little tangent, and then we'll go back into it. But when he says pick up, go home, you're through, isn't that a little bit of a plot hole where she could have just gone back to her family and everyone would have been safe? And they'd be like, well, I was dismissed from the army and I'm a woman anyway, so it doesn't
Yeah.
really matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it would bring dishonor to her family, and that's one of the things that
Well,
also.
either way, it would have been dishonor. I mean, the penalty for finding a woman in the army was death. Like
Mhm.
they would kill her because
Yeah.
Hmm.
And something that I noticed this time is, first of all, they live in a massive house. They have their own shrine for their ancestors.
Mhm.
And when Shan gets her conscription note, she says, I think
The
Fazu,
Fazu.
like everybody knows who he is. So he was like, it's implied that he was a war hero or something. Because
He's a
especially by
decorated
the,
war hero.
yeah,
Yeah,
because especially by the house he has, the
yeah, and
gardens.
she did say in the beginning, when they were coming to give the things to the men to come to fight, she was like, "My father already fought for you guys. He already did
Mhm.
this. Why does he have to do it again?" You
Yeah.
know. So yeah, he definitely is implied that he was like great war, a great warrior. I mean, I don't know if decorated or not, but he was really, they knew about him, obviously.
Yeah, well, to say like the Fasu and coming from like a general son, they must have
That's
been a
true. Oh yeah,
pretty.
the general son. That's right,
Yeah.
and coming off of that, it's like he he also had that pressure of wanting to please his dad and saying like, see, I trained all these recruits and we're gonna fight with you, and he had that pressure riding on him as well when
Yeah.
he
Well, that's
was
one of the
training
reasons
him.
why, outside of Mushu, Shang is my favorite character. Because you see it in the tent when he first gets the captain role. He is just overcome with like, oh my goodness, really? You trust me with that? Oh, I promise I'll make you proud. I'll make you
Mm.
proud. And then
Yeah.
he
Yeah, and
has to
then
like go stoic and be like,
yeah,
okay, duty and
Yes,
honor.
sir.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And then obviously it's not until he leaves that he says, when he reveals it's his dad, and you're like, oh, like the first time you're seeing, you're like, oh snap, that's his dad.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Oh,
Yeah, and this
oh,
time around, I caught the advisor, right? That he was like he's always annoying, but this time I caught that one of the reasons is because he tells Shang like, "You may be the general's no, the general may be your father, but I'm the king's advisor." And then when he leaves, and says, "And I got that job by myself.
yeah,
No,
that's
Hmm.
I
right.
got that job on my own," which
Yeah,
is actually pretty
that was a
impressive.
dig. Yeah, that was a
Yeah,
dig at
and it's impressive if like by his own merit he made it to the emperor's council. That's actually
yeah,
like somebody really intelligent. But
yeah.
he was just like he maybe even came from like a poor family,
Yeah,
and he
yeah,
saw like the captain post just being thrown
mhm,
away like that in his eyes, right?
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
was
he
like,
didn't like the nepotism of it.
yeah, like looking at that as a grown up, like, okay, I understand why he might be a bit pissed about it, right? But he does like he does go with them, right? He hides or anything, but he's not a soldier. He's just taking notes, right? Like a scribe sort of.
yeah. He's like a scribe, and he's also like writing his report to show to the general. Also, just like say giving progress
Yeah.
notes basically. Yeah,
Yeah, and in a sense, like he is doing his job. He's being kind of
yeah,
a dick about it, but he's doing his job because they weren't ready at
yeah. He's
all. But
yeah.
Mushu went and like, no, we are gonna go because I didn't waste my time on this.
Yeah,
And they're
because
all,
Mushu also wanted to prove himself and become a guardian again.
yeah,
Hmm.
So,
yeah. So like in a sense, everything turned out okay, but Mushu could
mhm.
have led them all to death.
Yeah, he could have.
No.
So I
Really.
think that is like the big theme, the overarching theme of this movie is proving yourself and proving your value.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
proving yourself, but like proving yourself doing the right thing, right? Because they all want
Hmm.
to do the right thing, and that's why I think this film maybe also maybe 'cause, like I love the idea from Asian culture, right? Of honor, of respecting your family and all that. I really felt like it came out more natural. Like I want to bring honor to my family than like maybe if we see like a Western family saying that, it's like it doesn't fit, you know. At least not to that degree. I feel like.
I think I think it would have been more prominent with the bringing honor to the families, like maybe more in the Western sense, like in more like medieval times. But as it kind of as the decades went on, I think that kind of lessened a bit. But it's still really obviously instilled in Eastern cultures more because they're just very much in that mindset. Um, yeah, for me, I like Mushu and Mulan, but
And the horse.
I also love the grandma. The grandma is my favorite
Grandma's of it.
too. The grandma is
The
I
grandma's
love that grandma.
jokes.
She's just she's golden.
She reminds me of a Korean mother.
Oh my god.
I like at the start when they're like all praying for the like to the ancestors for Mulan.
Mhm.
First the father says, "I'm gonna go pray some more," and then the mom says, "Oh, I should have prayed today for luck," and the grandmother goes, "Oh, what help can they be?" they're
already
dead.
dead.
Yeah, but
Or they're
then
dead.
she's like, please hear our prayer, right?
Yeah.
And they all come out.
When Mulan left, I think
Yeah,
she did actually, she was serious and was like, wanting her to be safe, of course.
yeah,
Yeah, so she was more serious than that.
yeah.
Okay, well, I think we kind of already went on like a theme that stuck out to us and whatnot. So let's just go on to our favorite funny moments.
Oh man, there are a lot.
The
Fun,
matchmaker
When
as
she does
always.
the
rubbing her cheat sheet all over her face, doing that, give her a Fu Manchu, and then spilling the tea and everything catches on fire. Oh my gosh.
Oh, that was too
Yeah.
good.
And speaking of the grandma outside, she's like, I think it's going well. Like, I think part of the grandma was like, I don't believe in this, like, bullshit or the bad. No, I don't think. No. I take that back because like matchmaking at that particular point, and even today continues. It is very important because they're trying to match right
Yeah.
for like an equal. How was it like an equal status, but also so like so both families benefit. So it
Mm-hmm.
does sound like to us maybe it sounds a bit scummy, but like to them it's to help both sides, right? In a sense.
Well,
Uh,
they would do that even in Western cultures too. Like even up until the Victorian era, they would totally do that. It was all about
yeah.
status and
Hmm.
good breeding and all that stuff, and
Yeah.
of
Hmm.
course money and blah blah blah.
Yeah, and
Well, the red dots
especially
still do arranged marriages.
They do. Hmm.
yeah, today they in China at least they do as well. And even now with all uh, the it's actually becoming more prominent in some countries again because of all these like weird feminists coming out and guys being like, I don't want to date that.
Yeah.
So they're actually in Asia at least they're like taking advantage of these services to try to find a sane woman.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So, you know,
Oh.
another funny moment. Well, I just really like any scene with Mushu in it is it has a joke or two. Uh, I love when he says like, "Oh, my little baby going out to destroy people."
Yeah. Or when he bites one of the guy's butts, and then afterward he takes all that toothpaste. He just goes, "Ah," and then he's like brushing his teeth. He's
Yeah,
like, "Ew, oh me, I had to bite that guy."
yeah. I
That
ain't
was
biting
so
any more
funny.
butts.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
not
and
biting animal butts.
yeah, and when he says like, "Oh no, there's a couple of things they're bound to notice." Like I didn't realize that
I
as a kid.
know, I
Like,
didn't
holy
either. I was like,
shit.
oh, that
So
was
was he
so
talking about
cool.
1 and 2, or was he talking about 1 and 2?
I thought it was one and
No, well,
two. One,
couple.
two. That's
Yeah,
what I thought.
yeah, because above water, well,
Come on,
near to water. Yeah.
that's more obvious. Because
And then
it's
she's like,
her.
I'm Yao, king of the rock. And she's like, no,
I'm just like, ooh,
I don't want to see another naked man in my life. And then,
and then they run by. Or when the panda came up when they had to dress up when Mushu had to do the whole send that urgent message to get them to go to that pass. And he's like, then what's his name was like, I don't scream like a girl. And then the panda came and he was like, oh! And he
I also really like that they established from the start that Mulan is pretty intelligent.
yes.
Because even when she's going, well, she has like the trick of the dog, or I help you with my chores. I brought a spare, like all those things
She's
are like
very
thinking
creative.
ahead.
She's very
Yeah.
creative and crafty, and she can think
Hmm.
on her feet.
And when she's walking, during the song of the matchmaking,
Mhm.
and she stops at a table where two men are playing
Oh yeah,
chess,
they're playing the Chinese,
Chinese chess.
checkers.
Uh, yeah, and the piece she moves, which I had heard of this before, but I remembered seeing that again. The piece that she moves is the cannon,
Oh,
which is like foreshadowing the cannon scene.
oh, Dang,
Yeah.
girl, I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
That's awesome.
because I love Mulan, and like every there was a point where Disney was still good that I watched all these
Yeah.
Easter eggs and hidden meanings and like that's a cool, that's cool. So I remember
That's
that.
funny.
And speaking of that scene, maybe not a funny scene, but like I found that the charge so epic. It was like a reverse Rohirrim,
Yeah,
not the good guys, but the
yeah.
bad guys. I'm like, wow,
Yeah. When
that
they come
is
down, and
cool.
then at first it's like all quiet and they're going,
Yeah,
what's
and they
going on
start.
here? And then all of
Mhm.
a sudden there's then the ominous music and then the whole line of them and they're going, oh, and then you hear the cheering roar or whatever, and then all of a sudden they come down and you're like, oh my god, they're so outnumbered. Oh my god.
Yeah, and I like that the bad guys, the villains, are also smart.
Yeah,
Because
Shaw
from
New, man.
yeah,
I,
but even like his like the ones that survives that are the ones they
yeah,
show,
those guys.
like they grab the doll and they're like, okay, it smells like this is only sulfur here, this is pine
Yeah,
wood, this
they're
is
they're like trackers and hunters are really knowledgeable in that.
yeah. And I love that. Like it sucks for the good guys, but it's like yes, a competent villain, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
And he's the one that the first one, like he is a villain, but he's a good leader because he's the first
yeah.
one on the field. Like he, you kind of noticing tracking first,
Hmm.
right? Um, and he gets upset when like his people were killed. Right? Don't quote
Yeah,
me.
even in the movie, like they didn't actually like invade the city, but the few of them infiltrated, obviously, because they wanted to kill the emperor. It was more like a uh the not what espionage, no, not espionage, but an assassination. They wanted to kill the emperor, and then they would probably come in after the fact and
Yeah. Well, he
invade.
does mention that it's also the first time I noticed that. He said your emperor invited me here when he built the wall.
Yeah,
Like I took it mostly to mean like I want to beat everyone. Oh, there's this wall here. They think they're protected. I'm gonna destroy them just
yeah,
because
yeah,
I
yeah,
can to show that I can.
yeah.
Like
Oh, you
illegal
built this
aliens.
multi.
How dare you, sir?
How
Oh, I
dare
dare.
Is illegal hunt.
That's right.
Well, 35 minute 35.
All right, Jess, you go ahead and I will pull this article up. Woo!
Yeah. So here it is. So yeah, apparently it's like supposedly based on this folk song Ballad of Mulan, which I found quite interesting when I saw this. Um, Obviously, it's the same story about her disguising herself as a man to protect her father from being drafted in the war, and then as a soldier, she has to learn all those skills and become a warrior in the Chinese army. Blah blah blah. Originally written in the 6th century, in the musical records of Old and New, and then reproduced during the 11th and 12th century in the Music Bureau collection by Go out. I cannot speak Chinese, guys. I just can't.
Something Malkian.
Yeah, something like that. The
Okay.
heroine story was about to be introduced to a much bigger audience, and apparently that's her statue. As the years went on, Mulan's epic tale began to be adapted into books and plays. Interestingly, Chinese artists would often reinvent Mulan's legend during periods of unrest to give hope and comfort to the public. Interesting. And then in 1850, for example, that guy's name, Fearson
Filial.
Filial, was published during a time when the Qing King,
When the Chinese dynasty.
when one of them dynasties was threatened by internal conflicts and foreign intruders.
They're not American. We don't have to pronounce their names correctly.
Yeah, sorry guys. Besides the main protagonist, Xia. Oh my god,
Shopsy.
that guy.
Xiao
Xiao. Okay. Novel
Well,
also introduced a few other strong female characters, such as a former concubine who became Mulan's sworn sister, Liu Huan. I don't know. Anyway.
influence, blah blah blah.
Yeah. Oh
Anyway, so basically what we're getting at is that it is a tale that first became out in a song, and it's just kind of been folklore the entire time.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
oldest version is like 400 AD.
Wow.
I
Wow.
also just wanted to do something fun, so we've got some little BTS facts about the movie. Okay. All right.
Wow. So Mulan was the first film made by the Disney Animation's Florida studio. Wow. I didn't even know they had a Florida studio.
I was seeing tinges of Hercules animation, so I'm wondering if Hercules was done in the Florida studio as well.
Mm.
Maybe.
No.
Some of the lines were the same.
Oh look, I really like that. Speaking of that screenshot, I like that's where no, she returns from the disaster, and her father, instead of berating or yelling at her, right? He tries to comfort her. She's just like, look, the flowers are in bloom, except that one, but I bet when it blooms, will be the most beautiful of all, right?
That
Talking
made
about
me
her.
cry. I was
That's
just
like, you see, that's a dad. That's a dad.
it was so good.
Lilo and Stitch.
They
They did research. Oh my god!
Who would have thunk?
Imagine, just imagine.
Wow. Isn't
Well,
that cool?
the palace there at the end is in the Forbidden City, so
Yes, it is.
That's right.
With
That's
even
right.
costumes being as historically accurate as possible.
yeah, the haircuts, the makeups, right, all that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why also it feels genuine.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
And apparently it was originally a romantic comedy.
Oh,
Wow.
definitely
Who would have
didn't
thunk it?
include, man. Arranged
Oh wow, the
engagement.
comedic version would follow Mulan after her father arranges for her to be engaged to Li Shang. What a deal that would have been. She ran away from one to control her own fate rather than be held to another. Wow, that would have been quite interesting.
That would have been a dumb movie.
Yeah.
No, probably would have been really corny.
Because maybe that's something also that I really liked about this film is that like if it because this is an animated film, but it's also kind of like an action film, so to speak, a little bit. And I don't like when there's or rather like the story is deep and it's serious, right? And sometimes I don't like when there's romance mixed into that because then
Or
it's
too
like
heavily in it, you know?
yeah, because it's like okay, we're going to war, we're gonna die. Oh, remember me, I love you. It's like
Yeah.
or
Oh, look, I didn't scroll down past this little ad. Look at this.
more accurate. What?
Wow.
The source material was respected?
Wow.
What is this?
Wow. Back when we had
Unthinkable.
integrity and, come on.
And when you do these kind of things, you get classic movies.
Mm-hmm.
Simple bitches.
Oh yeah, they always have to do they do the funny cameos if you know.
Citizens, I'm in need of aid. No, I said I need firepower.
Yeah, I need firepower.
Yeah.
They're like, who are you?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was too good.
In his basement.
Is that for real? He recorded his lines in his basement? No way.
Both Joe Pesci and Richard Dreyfuss turned down the role.
Wow.
first voice role in an animated film. Was going to be, but it was.
Wow.
Oh no, so it was. It was his first.
Yeah, because Shrek obviously was a lot, like a good
Yeah.
couple years after.
Yeah, it was just a few. Shrek was 2000, wasn't it? Just 2 years.
Yeah,
ago?
around there, yeah.
Or one. I can't remember.
One of them. It was really early 2000s, of course.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty cool. And then Jackie Chan. Could you imagine if Jackie Chan would have been his voice? In Chinese dubs. But
Yeah.
still, that
Yeah.
would have been really interesting.
Yeah, because he said, who did we watch it with? We listened to Jackie Chan singing "Make a Man Out of You." So good.
Oh, I haven't heard
Like,
that in a long time.
That's a dub I can get behind.
Oh, that would be so much fun. Well, it also wouldn't have made sense when everyone else sounds like a white person. Like, no one
Yeah.
really has affectations. Maybe just slightly, and I think that's put on. But
Yeah,
except for
yeah.
George Takei, because he is Asian.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this I knew this also, that they use the fans because
Mhm.
they're kind of not shields, of course, but they are distractors.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you can't see what's behind this. Ha!
Yeah, it's like throwing a jab in boxing, and then you hit
Yeah.
them with a haymaker on the side. Just like you're just taking their focus on the vat so that they leave their guard down.
And I always remember that scene because it looks so fluid. Like, close it. Suck. I like that scene.
Mm-hmm. Well, the Chicken Queen had to go tend to her coop, so we kind of lost Jess there. So I think what we should do without her around, we should just wrap this up. I think it's been a very healthy discussion, and we learned a lot of stuff today, and I had a good time reminiscing on it. So, Sophie, is there anything you like to plug?
No, not yet. I mean, I have something in the works, but it's bare bones, so nothing yet. Coming soon.
All right. I think I got through a whole video without her asking me what my sign was.
Damn it, Multi, what is your sign?
Leo.
Leo. And what is yours? Because we're talking about Mulan, what is your Chinese zodiac sign?
Mushu.
You're a dragon.
I'm Year of the Dragon. Yes.
So this is your year.
I have no idea what that means.
This is the year of the dragon. This year, 2024, the year of the dragon.
Rawr.
Yay! Congrats! Yeah, here. No, because here there's a lot of like Chinese influence, so there's a lot of Chinese restaurants, and so for Chinese New Year there were a lot of discounts and parties. So it was good food.
Okay.
Good food for the year of the dragon.
No,
Well, I
excellent.
went with some of my work friends, but yeah.
All right. Well, that wraps it up for us. Once again, this is MaltyMaldy and missing Jess Lindstrom, the Chicken Queen, for the GCA. Appreciate y'all coming out. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bring it up then so we can see it.
We'll bring your mom up for
What
a
are we
nice
doing?
steak dinner and never call her again.
How rude. We have ravens here.
Caw, caw. No, those are the crows, right?
Well, yeah, they kind of.
Oh, yesterday I heard a weird bird, and I was like, is something happening? And it was just a bird, but it sounded like is someone screaming?
Wow.
And I'm like, what? I know it's a bird.
Oh, well then.
Well, there's an outtake.
The Legend of Hua Mulan? I have no clue. I don't speak Chinese, guys.
Hua, hua, hua.
Hua.
Yeah, it's probably
Hua.
Mulan. Pew pew.
Pew pew. Pew 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 pew.
Pew pew pew.
Pew 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 pew.